different from my triangles?
You do a gradient.
Not just radians. There's something else that's different about it.
The inverse on the outside.
The inverse is on the outside. The triangles come in when the inverse is on the inside. When the inverse is on the outside, like in these problems, I can actually just calculate what this is and then work my way backwards. Work my way to then the inverse function. All right. Do you want me to do all of them or just one or two, or is there a particular one you don't like?
It doesn't matter.
Well, it does kind of matter. I can just do one.
Do the first one.
Okay, let's do the first one. Namely, because if I do the second and the third one, you might get the wrong impression about how the answers work. Because the second and third one, I can just flat out tell you what the answers are right now. First one I have to think about. So, tangent inverse of the tangent of negative 7 pi over 4. Well, what's the tangent of this negative 7 pi over 4? You guys want to go through step by step how to get that? Let's do it. So, which way do I go to get to negative 7 pi over 4? Clockwise or counterclockwise? Clockwise. So I'm headed this way. So in the negative direction, when I've gotten to here, I'm at negative 4 pi over 4. Yes? When I've gotten to here, I'm at negative 6 pi over 4, so I'm approximately here. So there's negative 7 pi over 4. Now, I have given you rules for how to find the reference angle if you are between in quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4, but you have to be there positively and not having gone around more than once in the positive direction. So what would be the first thing I would need to do in order to do that here? Add 2 pi. So I want to find the start by finding the angle that's coterminal between 0 and 2 pi.
Would you have to do that on the test?
No. So on the test, you guys, this is the explanation for my lab. My other class did it. This is something that, it's like adding 2 and 2, that I expect for the standard angles, you would be able to spit these out right away and be able to just do it in your head. So for instance, I can look at this and tell you, I know it's pi over 4. That's the reference angle that I'm going to use, and then I can do my tangent of pi over 4. But I know that it takes people a little time to get there, so this is the steps to get there that you would think in your head. So my coterminal would be my negative 7 pi over 4 plus 2 pi. That would give me negative 7 pi over 4 plus 8 pi over 4, which turns out to be pi over 4. How did I get to that one? Well, that's going in this counterclockwise direction to the same place, going that way. Now, in order to tell me what the tangent is, I need to know my reference angle. Well, what quadrant is my pi over 4 in? 1, and in quadrant 1, what do I do to find the reference angle? Nothing. It's just pi over 4. All right, that's easy enough. So now, I can look at my tangent of pi over 4. What would that be? Now, for those of you who are going, really? Remember, tangent is sine of the angle divided by the cosine of the angle. And the sine of pi over 4 you should know as the square root of 2 over 2. The cosine of pi over 4 you should know as the square root of 2 over 2. And so that's why that comes out to be 1. All right. Now what? Well, how does this tell me what the tangent of negative 7 pi over 4 is? Right, it's going to be the same thing as pi over 4 because that was my, not only my reference angle, but it was also my coterminal angle. So when it matches up, that matches up exactly. There's no need to think about, oh, was I in quadrant 1 and I needed things to be positive or negative. Quadrant 1, you're nice. So then, what I'm now looking at is the tangent inverse of 1. Because I've replaced this piece with the tangent of negative 7 pi over 4, which is 1. Okay, so what's tangent of 1? Oh, excuse me, tangent inverse of 1. What do I need to do to answer this question? Well, that question is really what angle between where and where for my tangent inverse? What's my range on the tangent inverse? Negative pi over 2 to pi over 2. Including or not including them? Not included. Has a tangent value of 1. Well, what angle is that? Pi over 4. Remember with your sine and your sine inverse and your tangent inverse, if this is positive, this angle is going to be positive. If this number is negative, the angle is going to be negative. Because positive means we're in quadrant 1, so our angle would be positive. Negative means we're in quadrant 4 in the negative direction, so my angle would be negative. Sine. Cotangent, you're not in the quadrants 1 and 4. Instead, you're in quadrants 1 and 2. And so you have to whether, am I going to be in quadrant 1 or am I going to be in quadrant 2?
Is that the only point of the inverse things, like that's the only, just because they've got restrictions?
Right, because they've got restrictions, there will only be one single answer. Now, here's what happens. When we start with section 5.5 and start solving solving trig equations, if you use your inverse functions, you're going to get one answer.